I made a couple videos today, but I overlooked them and I just didn't like them. I'm real picky with the video quality. I guess that's something new. I figured that before making the YouTube that it would just be for my personal use, for the family to see. But then when you're out here, you start getting grandiose thoughts. Maybe you might become YouTube famous. So I'm gonna try to take a step back again. Just say it how it is, and just do my best to make a decent video for people to see, and one that I can look back on at old age and say, hey, I did that. Anyway, today's been difficult so far. Probably not really that difficult. It just seems that way when you're faced with circumstances that aren't usual for normal everyday life. I was sleeping in a sleeping bag last night, and I'll turn around. I'll show where I'm at. I was sleeping in a sleeping bag last night underneath a lamp light or pole. I don't know what it's called. The light was shining in my eyes all day, all night, whatever. And so it was difficult to sleep as it was, because the light was shining in my eyes the entire night. And then around, I don't know, I would say 3 a.m., but it could have been earlier. I didn't check the time. Some guy named Dennis comes by and wakes me up thinking I was some guy named Moses. I don't know if his name was Moses, but that's just what I remember. It was so late, and it's difficult to recall what happens when you're sleep deprived. It was kind of a haze. It's very hazy. He was out there collecting cans to help somebody in Portland, because he's a kind person. Dennis. Dennis is his name. Well, he woke me up, asked me if this credit card was mine, and I said no. He found it in the outhouse, the toilet I used the day before. I'm eating a pizza, so there might be some pauses. So he asked me if this credit card was mine, and I said no. I said, whoever it is, they're probably missing it. But anyway, at 3 a.m., he wakes me up. Maybe at 2:30, I have no idea. He wakes me up, and then he talks about just stuff for a few hours, maybe 2. Now, maybe an hour and a half. I have no idea again. He was very kind. He helpful. He gave me some good directions for today. He said that I should go to some church where they do a food drive. They did that at 11 a.m. It's past 11 a.m. now. He told me where the laundromat was, and that's where I was this morning, cleaning my clothes. I felt a lot of shame going in there. I mentioned shame before, I think, in a video. This time the shame was even higher, because I hadn't opened up my clothes bag in a little over 2 weeks, and it was disgusting. I won't even describe it. I'm sure you can imagine all the stuff on that clothes. Going to the bathroom, sleeping through the night. Yeah, just a lot of stuff beyond my control was on my clothes. You can imagine being in an enclosed space for a little over 2 weeks, how disgusting it is. and I felt more shame that there was people there doing their own stuff. But I mean, they probably didn't care. It's a mental thing. And while I was there, well, before I got there, I was biking over, exhausted as it was, still exhausted, and some dude from his car, I mean, yeah, well, I mean, I didn't really take offense to it, but just thinking about it, it's kind of shitty. And I guess, well, I'm swearing on YouTube, because this is where this is going, because I don't want to send out the video in tiny little pieces, like I've done before. But he said, oh yeah, you should get a job, go back into the workforce, or something like that. I just waved, and I gave him a thumbs up and smiled. I didn't think anything of it at the time. Honestly, I didn't really care. But just going into the laundromat and the condition my clothes were in just really bummed me out. I did my clothes. That wasn't that bad, I guess. It seems like it was, but I don't think it was. I'm still here. I'm hoping to head to Castle Rock now. Get out of this town. Woodland. I liked Woodland. Also, last night, Dennis was really helpful. He told me a lot of stories about his childhood, his life, and he just seemed real genuinely kind. And I can say that about a lot of people I've met so far. Kind with their time. Time kind. I'm talking about kindness. There was towards the end of the long conversation with Dennis, two people pull up in a car down at that park where I was sleeping. And one of them comes out, his name was Corey, and he gave me some donuts. And I was hungry at the time. This was around 4:30 in the morning. He gave me some donuts, he asked me if I was hungry, and he was homeless. And he gave me some donuts that he just bought. And I was very grateful for those donuts. Food, that's a big thing out here. Water, showers, and clean clothes. All big things. I'm heading to Castle Rock next. I'm about finished with this pizza. I'm gonna drink this muscle milk I bought because it contains a lot of protein. I didn't get anything from the food drive because I must have went to the wrong church, or I just couldn't figure out how to get the church doors open. I have a problem with that, getting church doors open, like it did at Hallwood. I don't know where it was. Trinity Baptist Church. I had that video, but yeah, I have a problem getting church doors open. Head to Castle Rock. Maybe I'll be in Seattle in 2 days. Thanks.